We've got an asystolic cardiac arrest.
Everyone clear?
We are going to a 20-year-old male who's collapsed in the street.
These emergencies are so serious, the critical care team are often dispatched.
We're going to be taking you to the hospital, all right?
Yeah.
Only 7% of victims survive.
I've got a pulse.
They have brought you back to life, okay?
With advanced training and specialist equipment,
So we're going to put the Lucas on him.
Everyone clear for a second.
the critical care teams work with ambulance crews to provide the most advanced pre-hospital care,
So we're being sent along to see if there's any extra that we can add.
giving victims of cardiac arrest the best possible chance of survival.
Seven 7062.
7062, good morning.
7062, good morning. I'm here. You can book me on here all day.
It's the start of a 12-hour shift for critical care paramedic Jack Lewis.
I am relatively apprehensive about what we're going to get today. I was on the trauma desk yesterday, very, very busy. This car particularly, with a range of stuff from quite nasty trauma to some unfortunate medical incidents. I think we're going to be the same today.
Ambulance services to patient Freedom.
He's just been
Okay, what have they been stabbed with, do you know?
a knife.
Okay, is it bleeding heavily?
Yes,
And how old are they?
but adult.
Do you know where the wounds are?
One's got one in the stomach, one's in the chest, and one's in the stomach. The one's got two wounds, losing consciousness.
Even if he's lost about 2 mugfuls of blood?
It's close to.
Okay.
Can you just send an ambulance,
Yeah,
please?
it's not delaying any help, sir, okay.
62 Whiskey Romeo.
A stabbing is one of the most challenging situations a critical care specialist can face. If an artery has been severed, a patient can bleed to death in minutes.
Been deployed to reports of a double stabbing, 2 patients, one with chest injuries, one with chest and abdominal injuries in a park not too far from the QE, so hopefully it'll be a case of a rapid assessment, major hemorrhage or like, life threat control, and then a rapid extrication. 60, thank you. ETA approximately 3 to 4 minutes.
The critical care team in the West Midlands deal with more than 30 every week. Reducing the number of deaths is one of the service's main objectives.
Police en route. So you'll be first on scene.
Roger, that's all copied.
We are having updates soon that these patients are unconscious. Police today, their ETA was 2 minutes.
Roger, given the severity of their potential condition, I am happy to make scene with a dynamic risk assessment received.
With 2 patients' lives on the line, every second counts.
Updated report from police has come through that they're both unconscious, so potentially this is going to be 2 traumatic cardiac arrests. 60, that's all copy, just pulling up behind, 4634, that's Romeo 55 now.
On arrival, it's a major incident, with multiple police and ambulance teams already at the address.
Hi, Rob. Yeah. Roger.
2 neighbours have been attacked. Simon, who's outside, was stabbed while trying to defend his friend. "41-year-old Matthew, who has collapsed in the stairwell, has been stabbed twice.
Come on, breathe. Go on, deep breath out. Come on, you can. Okay.
He is struggling for breath. The stab wounds are close to his lungs, and they are in danger of collapse.
They put chest on, I've not looked at wounds.
That's fine. Is he on O2? Hi, mate.
He's on O2 from police, not ours.
The wounds have been sealed, but with internal bleeding and potential organ damage, he's at high risk of going into cardiac arrest.
GCS 15, chest seal applied, oxygen on, and we're just going to get him gone and gone. He's got a good chest wound and a good abdominal wound.
All right, we'll put him straight on 4634
Yep.
because the crew are with him. The second crew, I haven't seen this guy's wound yet, but it's abdominal.
I'll have a quick
so I'm going to get this crew to
cheeky
bring
look.
their stretcher up, and we'll get this guy's.
If we just load it both and just get them all gone straight off. I'm just going to grab an apron because I'm half PPE'd.
Once in protective PPE, Jack can make a close assessment of the other victim.
Rob, whilst they're dealing with him, I'll just have another look through this guy.
54-year-old Simon has one small but potentially deadly incision.
All right, can I have a little look, sir?
You okay, mate? Just you okay, you okay, you're
Okay,
right.
okay,
You're
good.
right, you're right.
It's a bit of bowel, but it's little. Looks like there's too much there with lots of vein through it. It looks potentially like bowel, but.
The stab wound has gone so deep, his bowel is now protruding out of his abdomen.
You okay, mate? Just you okay, you okay, you're right.
Okay,
You're
good.
right, you're right.
If his bowel has been cut, he's in grave danger of sepsis, which can lead to organ failure.
So, hello, sir. My name's Jack, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any pain anywhere else? Have you been hurt anywhere else?
Yes.
Can we get this bag off you? Is that all right? Are you happy? I'm going to get this top off you, mate, okay? Just to check and make sure you've been anywhere else, all right? Okay, let's have a look in your arms. Nothing in the back. You definitely weren't stabbed anywhere else? No, there's no obviously bleeding, there's nothing into the wounds. Fine. Okay, good.
You all right?
Yes, happy for this gentleman on your stretcher? Is that the plan, Rob?
Let's get him, because the sooner he's moved, we're
Yeah,
replacing him.
let's go.
Suddenly, a fight breaks out amongst the bystanders, threatening not just the care of the patients, but the safety of Jack and the ambulance crew.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
I don't know though, I think he's underneath the bus.
Someone's been run over.
Yeah? With the fire engine coming as well, because they might have to lift the bus up.
Yes, I have requested for fire as well.
Hello, I'm actually a nurse. I spoke to the gentleman under the bus. He said he can breathe. However, his arms are trapped. He can't breathe arms to get from underneath the bus.
Okay. We are coming to you on a blue light response and we'll be with you as soon as possible.
With a man run over by a 12-ton bus, the risk of catastrophic injuries is huge. So critical care paramedic Colin Apps is immediately dispatched.
The colleague, just so you're aware, so it's coming through as one patient. Man is still conscious, but still trapped underneath the bus. You have got a crew in attendance and OM is about to book in as well, over.
That's all copy, thank you. We're about 8 minutes away at the moment. Helicopter, heli-med is going as well.
He's not trapped under the bus. His ankle is not by his head.
Sounds like he's going to have some injuries, doesn't he?
The incident is so serious, the air ambulance has also been scrambled.
Sometimes this is peeling climate and it was very little space to get him out from underneath the bus. I had to drag him out and have an implication of it.
12 minutes after receiving the call, Colin arrives and is briefed by the operations manager overseeing the incident.
He's just been trapped underneath this bus here.
Yeah.
His ankles were literally by his head.
Yeah.
This is as tight as you could get the bus.
Okay.
And we've literally just had to drag him out. It's literally full
Yes.
drum and half under
GCS 15 still? But...
GCS 15, yeah.
And you don't think he looks very well?
Peeling climate from what we could see. We couldn't get any oxygen. We literally just got him out.
Thankfully, just before Colin arrived, firefighters were able to free the man and he's now being assessed by paramedics.
Has he said he's got any pain anywhere?
In his arm. Where's your pain?
Guys, take his clothes off completely. Get full monitoring on him. We need an ECG on him so we can monitor his accurate heart rate.
Yeah.
All right?
We've got a blood pressure EFM. Yeah, 101 over 69. Good radial as well.
44-year-old Andrew was travelling to meet his wife when he stepped out in front of the bus.
He needs the pelvic binder on. Yeah, because if he's bleeding, we need to stop him bleeding before we start replacing anything.
Although Andrew is conscious, Colin is concerned. If he's broken his pelvis, he could have life-threatening internal bleeding.
So he's got no bleeding under there, but his leg was, you say, quite up above his head, yeah?
By his head, yeah. It's kind of bent over onto this leg was above there.
As a catastrophic internal hemorrhage can cause death within 5 minutes, Andrew's in need of urgent transfer to a major trauma centre.
60, could you just update me, is heli-med en route over?
old are you, sir?
54.
In Birmingham, critical care paramedic Jack is working to save the lives of 2 men who have been stabbed.
So I've got no odds on him other than he's got a good pulse. He's looking a bit pale, as you can see. Single isolated wound.
With 2 patients on his hands, Jack decides Simon is in the most stable condition for the ambulance crew to take over.
I've not taken his trousers off. It looks like there may be some bowel there. There's like a nice vein through part of the flesh, so it could be quite fatty, but I'm not prepared to say it's not bowel.
Yeah, no, sir.
All right.
The other victim, Matthew, is still in the stairwell and in more urgent need of Jack's critical care.
I can travel with either. Probably this chest guy, probably stick with him because he's going to be the sicker guy.
A bit longer, and if there's anything going to go wrong, it's going to be with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guarding these for their safekeeping. Please do not say anything. Stay there.
With tensions running high, police officers make a cordon to shield the paramedics from harm.
You guys have to get him on, and I'm going to start drawing you up from TXA. Stand by. Life-threatening.
Life-threatening, okay.
Potentially life-changing. Yeah, you get him gone, get him gone.
Get him onto the truck, yeah?
I'll meet you there. Yeah.
So the dog ambulance can take you down to the ambulance.
It's vital Matthew is kept as calm as possible. With 2 deep stab wounds, any rise in blood pressure will increase the speed of blood loss and he could go into cardiac arrest. With a police dog escort as protection, Matthew is quickly evacuated to the safety of the ambulance.
Let him go now.
Yeah, go on, I know, yeah.
Try and get these doors. Yeah, I'm going to get out now. Sorry.
6-2, go ahead. Very disordered scene. Can you pull yourself forward, mate, with my help? Matty, give us a hand. Now push yourself as far back as you can and get yourself sat up nice and high for me. Get your legs plied in, you've got good movement. You're doing really well. I know this is a really distressing time, but we're going to get you through it, all right?
Once on board, Jack gives Matthew a vital injection of tranexamic acid to try and stem the blood loss before updating the trauma desk.
I can't breathe.
So I have got a 41-year-old male. We've got 2 wounds. Okay, 1 non-sucking chest wound to the right anterior and 1 wound to the right lower quadrant.
They will alert the hospital to expect 2 critically injured patients who will need urgent surgery.
He's had TXA oxygen applied. The other patient is on the other vehicle. He has an abdominal wound, potentially a spat of small bowel visible. We are leaving scene now for the QE, ETA approximately 6 minutes.
While travelling on blue lights, Jack closely monitors critically ill Matthew.
Is that pain a bit better? Yeah? Feel a bit easier? Good. You able to take a deep breath in for me? And out. Sore on that side? It's all right, I know, I just need this chest to stick a bit. Otherwise it's not doing a huge amount. I don't think you damaged your heart, I think it's your lung, essentially, or the space where your lung should be, okay? When the call came in to say we had 2 patients, potentially both unconscious, I'm thinking traumatic cardiac arrest, I'm going to have to really prioritise who's going to get my help first. Yeah, just twice. Yeah. The trick with these patients is get going while the going's good and don't waste time. We're not going to fix their problems on scene. If they arrest on scene, we're in a whole world of trouble.
30 minutes after the emergency call was made, both victims are handed over to the major trauma team at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham.
Either of those wounds could potentially kill someone. The gentleman that I was with, he had air in his chest that was taking up space that lungs should have been taking up, so compromising his ventilation. The other gentleman, if he's nicked his bowel, that can be really quite complicated. Both are going to be at least life-changing and going to require significant recovery.
You got pain here? Pain there?
In Dudley, critical care paramedic Colin is dealing with a major incident at a bus station.
Do you take any medicine for anything, don't you? Epilepsy? OK. You haven't had a fit at all, do you know of?
No. Andrew stepped out in front of a bus and was trapped under it for more than 20 minutes.
We'll get morphine on the truck if you guys are up there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just give us the IV paracetamol for now.
Paracetamol going in, guys.
Andrew, you still here? Yeah. Good man.
Colin is concerned he may have life-threatening internal injuries.
Can we grab another crew?
Andrew, where does it hurt?
Just sat down, just feeling pretty shaky. In his shoulder. In his shoulder, is there?
So is it you had the TXA, or was that just being drawn up here?
Colin gives Andrew tranexamic acid to help stop excessive bleeding.
Just chuck it over this side, I'll pop it on this side.
Although they've managed to stabilise Andrew, they need to get him to hospital fast.
7062, what's Helimed's ETA now, over?
Colin checks the whereabouts of the helicopter.
What do you think about leaving scene to the QE?
Yeah,
because I don't think Helimed's going to do anything extra now.
No, it's 91 over 16.
It's come up a little bit, so don't worry about the fluids for now, we'll do it on the way.
Rather than wait for the air ambulance, Colin and the crew decide it would be best if he escorts Andrew to hospital by road.
Nice one. Thanks, guys. See you later.
A patient with internal injuries can suddenly deteriorate, so Colin's critical care continues throughout the 20-minute journey.
How's your pain now? Does it hurt anywhere? What happened? Do you remember?
At the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, Colin hands Andrew into the care of the emergency doctors.
Okay.
All right, Andrew. Just at the hospital now. All right.
Quite a serious job, especially in terms of the mechanism, the potential a serious injury. I suspect he's injured something, I'm not sure what, which is why he's having a CT scan so he can find out. In terms of his observations, he didn't seem terrible, but I'm sure he's got something wrong with him.
As night falls, there is no let-up for the critical care teams.
So just have a check that there's nothing that's out of date.
At base, Dr. Ravi Chauhan and critical care paramedic Richard Apps have just checked in for their night shift.
It's not going to be a normal hot Friday weekend, and I think that's just because of what's happening with COVID, with lockdown and social distancing. But I suspect today will be probably quiet to begin with, and then maybe some RTCs.
I think you're being very optimistic that people are still behaving with lockdown. I don't think they've behaved for weeks. They've all gone mad. Job numbers are all back to stupid again now.
It's not long before Richard is sadly proved right.
Ambulance service, the patient breathing.
I don't know, there's been a fight. He says cold by the looks of it. Somebody's having a right panic. You need to get somebody in straight away. Can you hear it going on?
Yeah, okay, so male adult.
Male adult by the looks of it, yeah.
And you said that he's unconscious.
He's had a cold one.
Have you got an idea what's happened at all?
You look like it was a fight. It all happened really quick, and then all you heard was a big crack. And I'm reckoning his head on the tile floor. He's bleeding. Or he's sick. Or he's being sick. Whatever it is, it's not looking good. Can you hurry up with the ambulance, please? They're doing CPR on him.
They're doing CPR, okay. We are coming as quick as we can, blue light.
An ambulance has been dispatched, but the man's injuries are so severe he may be in cardiac arrest and in need of enhanced critical care from Ravi and Richard.
We are going to central Birmingham to reports of an unconscious patient following an assault.
Hi, thanks. Just a quick update from the scene. There's a few crews in attendance. The patient you're going to has a GCS of 3. He was hit over the head with something. He has 6 pupils, trismus. The So reports seen as being very chaotic. They're scooping the patient and loading him onto the back of the ambulance. They're going to try and get bilateral IV access ready for you.
Yeah, that's received. If they are having airway issues, I would suggest that they go to nearest whilst we make our way.
Yes, absolutely. They were still on scene when I spoke. I think, from what I heard, you are going to make scene before they're ready to leave. Received.
Yeah, many thanks.
The patient is in a life-threatening condition. He's deeply unconscious, and the ambulance crew already on site are struggling to get oxygen into him.
What they're reporting is trismus. Essentially, the jaw is locked, which means that the patient may not be able to get enough oxygen to the brain and to other organs. So if we're struggling with that, then we may have to act pretty swiftly. As you're probably aware, the brain can only survive so long without oxygen before you have irreversible damage.
I haven't seen the vent or anything.
Just sort of pushing through these checks in case we get an early job.
It's 7 p.m. and Dr. Polly Haywood is getting ready to start a Saturday night shift.
It's payday this weekend, so we could expect it to be busy, but obviously we don't know if people are not socialising as much as they might do with coronavirus.
Tonight, she's paired with full-time critical care paramedic Sarah Foley.
Yeah, that's the third one. Have you checked it's got enough masks and stuff in, or...?
No, the blue kit.
No, I'll have a look.
So this is a brand new car, so we're just kind of familiarising ourselves with it.
We've got a burns kit, maternity kit, including the slightly unlikely nerve agent protection.
We've got snow socks. I hope we don't need those.
I don't think so.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Yes.
Are they conscious, awake?
No.
He's not responding to you?
He's not responding, no.
If you gently take his shoulder, does he wake up in any way?
May, can you wake up for me? May, can you wake up for me? No, he's not.
Okay.
He's been in the car crash, in a fairly big one. By the looks of it, he's lost control and is driven into a lamppost and then a tree.
Okay.
He was up and around for sort of 5 minutes. He lay down and then he sort of passed out through.
Okay. We are coming to him on blue lights.
A man suddenly collapsing after a high-speed road collision is a Category 1 emergency. An ambulance has been dispatched, but critical care backup from Polly and Sarah is also needed.
The patient was driven into a lamppost, then a tree. Only him involved. The patient was walking around after the RTC, then lay down. When you crash into motorway furniture or lampposts, they're all designed to deform. A tree is not designed to deform.
With over 1,700 deaths on Britain's roads every year, the team have to be prepared for the worst.
Well, hi guys, high-speed RTC, still GTS 3. He's got some confusion to his head that might possibly be isolated head by the sound of it. Blood pressure 134/82, making him a screw to get a bit quite busy on feed.
That's absolutely fine. Just keep us updated before they leave the scene. It sounds like the patient would require an RSI.
Sarah and Dr. Polly are highly qualified to perform an RSI or roadside anaesthesia should it be needed.
Is there enough space in here? Yeah, I think there is, yeah.
When they arrive, the injured man has been moved to the ambulance.
Right, we're both going to have to double level 3, aren't we?
As Polly and Sarah may need to put a breathing tube down into the man's lungs, they both must wear the highest level of protection against coronavirus.
So, really fine mechanism. It's a little bit weird. Sometimes quite adequately, to be fair.
While they dress, the paramedic updates them.
And he's come out of the car. He's been walking around for about 5 minutes apparently.
Yep.
Witnessed by bystanders.
Yep.
And he's just collapsed. So he's been GTS 3 with us.
A GCS, or Glasgow Coma Scale assessment of 3, is the lowest level of consciousness and a sign of possible brain trauma.
Hello, buddy.
Now in COVID protective suits, Dr. Polly and Sarah begin their close assessment of the patient.
My name's Dr. Hayward. I'm one of the merit team. I'm just having a feel across your chest wall, sweetheart, OK? He's got like a laceration there.
Yeah. So anything to suggest that he's under the influence of anything? What's that?
Bit of a lack there, like a seatbelt lack. He's got a very firm belly, but all his numbers are normal.
Completely perplexed.
Although the man is unresponsive, his vital signs are good.
What's his name?
Matthew.
Matthew, have you taken something? Hold your arms up for me, buddy. Hold your arms up. See, there's tone in there. Hold your arms up. OK, hold it up there for me, buddy.
To assess Matthew's brain function, Polly checks his arm reflex.
This is all very odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he's unconscious, his arm should fall totally limp without any reflex. But as she drops it, Polly can feel the muscle tense, which is very unusual for someone unaware of what's happening.
So it seemed to walk at scene, but then...
Yeah, he got out of the car for about 10 minutes, was complaining about pain in his back, was fixated about finding his phone, and then by all accounts he sort of sat down on the edge of the road and then collapsed and was in this state from that point.
It's a mystery Polly needs to solve fast. Time could be running out for Matthew.
Let me just have a listen to his chest. There's nothing here on his numbers that makes me want to put him to sleep.
Dr. Ravi and critical care paramedic Richard have been dispatched to Birmingham city centre, where a man has been seriously injured after a fight. He's now on an ambulance. The crew brief Ravi.
What's going on?
Yeah, this is Julian Grizzly. He assaulted in the head.
Yeah.
I'll step out to GCS3. Yeah.
32-year-old lorry driver Julian was on a night out when he tried to intervene in a fight. He was punched and fell to the floor. He's now fighting for his life.
Whether CPR was started or not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
His right ear, he's got serial levels of congealed blood. Pupils, left side sluggish in 3s,
yeah.
Right side reacted in 3s.
Julian is completely unresponsive and bleeding from his ear. All the indications are he has suffered a traumatic brain injury.
He's trismus. We couldn't get an APA in, so we popped an MPA in.
Yeah.
The left-hand side. Stats were 92 on air, they're now 100% on 15 litres. Got bilateral access. He's been blood pressure stable throughout, and we've given him 1 gram TXA.
Brilliant.
Julian's jaw has locked, so the paramedics have inserted a tube through his nose to get vital oxygen into him and keep his heart and other organs functioning.
Looks like gentleman's been assaulted and it seems deeply unconscious at the moment. So Ravi's just going to assess him, but we may just travel as we are because we're not that far from the hospital and reassess on the way.
You might as well tell him to get ready.
Yeah.
Julian needs all the skills and resources of a major trauma hospital. As the Queen Elizabeth is just 10 minutes away, Ravi decides this is the best option.
Hi, it's Ravi. So can you just put a quick alert to the QE to say that we're going to be there in a couple of minutes with a GCS3 head injury, observation stable, and have anaesthetics on standby. So we're not going to RSI here, but you'll probably need us. Okay, cool. All right, so that's bye.
Having updated the trauma desk, Ravi monitors Julian closely throughout the journey, while Richard follows the ambulance, ready to help should his condition deteriorate further. At the hospital, Julian is taken straight into the emergency department for ongoing trauma care.
It's difficult with these conditions and these incidences to determine what the outcome's going to be. Because I work in the intensive care setting, this is something I see quite regularly, and there are people that come in very unconscious that wake up and walk out of hospital 12 hours later. spectrum, and the other end of the spectrum, you've got somebody that's severely disabled that needs care for the rest of their life. Until the hospital have done the scans, they've given him some time to recover. You know, we won't really know what his outcome's going to be.
In Albury, critical care paramedic Jack Lewis is making a mid-shift pit stop.
Never know how it's going to pan out doing this type of work. Could well get 1 or 2 more jobs before the end of the shift, but in case we don't, it's about kind of preparing, taking the opportunity while we can to get the car ready for whoever's on tomorrow, who might be rushed first, you know, out first thing. So we've still got a couple of hours left for things to happen.
Is the patient breathing?
No, I don't know. An old man's just dropped and collapsed on the floor. He's heavily bleeding from the head.
Is he making a grunting or?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, is he awake?
Hello? Hi. No, you're not awake.
No response. We've got the help on the way for him, okay?
Okay, Eagle 2144, please come through the Cat 1, unconscious, noisy breathing. ETA is about 10 minutes, proceed.
Roger, all copy, no worries, I'll give you an early update. Thanks, ETA approximately 3 minutes.
A man who has suddenly collapsed and reportedly unconscious is part of the reason the critical care team was set up.
We're about a minute out, we'll probably be first on scene. There's a crew also en route, but they're probably about 8 minutes behind us.
They are highly trained, able to administer life-saving treatments at the roadsides over and above regular ambulance teams.
Male in his 70s, unconscious, sounds like a collapse. Patient collapse hit head. Hi guys. Hello, my name's Jack from the air ambulance. How are you? What's your name? Tony. Do you know what's happened, Tony?
Tony, a retired engineer, was on his way to his local shops when he fell and hit his head on the pavement.
Do you remember what's happened at all? No, you banged your head, you've given yourself quite a clock, I think. Yeah, have you got any pain anywhere? Nothing at all? OK. So you don't remember what's happened, you've been seen to walk down the street and you've gone down and you've clocked your head. I can see you've got a nasty wound to your head there. Do you think we can try and roll you onto your back, sir?
I've got some shopping to do.
That's OK, we can do that a little bit later. Let's make sure you're well first. OK. Can I give you a bit of a check over, Tony?
Yeah.
Although Tony has regained consciousness, he has no recollection of what's happened.
Yeah.
How old are you, sir? Give me a rough idea.
64.
64. And do you suffer with any medical problems?
Nothing.
Nothing at all? Do you take any
He's also very confused. Tony is 75 years old, not 64.
I'll sit up next to you, it's whatever you'd rather. Do you think we can get this jacket off? I think you're probably a bit warm.
It's 27 degrees, and Tony is dressed for winter. Overheating may be one reason for his collapse.
Let me come behind you. Sit up for me. Good, ma'am. Tony, can we get this jacket off? Just give you a bit of a check over. Have you had much to do? Any food, lunch today? Anything to eat? No. Much water? No.
Jack needs to be sure there aren't any other underlying causes, particularly seeing he already has another recent head injury.
Do you take any medicine to thin your blood? No. OK.
Tony's displaying some concerning symptoms.
Do you take any medicine for anything at all? Nothing. OK.
His sudden fall, difficulty speaking clearly, and confusion could all be signs of a stroke.
Very flat, isn't he?
In Shrewsbury, Dr. Polly and critical care paramedic Sarah are dealing with a puzzling case.
Buddy, come on, matey.
Matthew has had a high-impact car crash and appears to be deeply unconscious. But Polly thinks he may have some awareness, and for an unknown reason, can't move or respond to her.
The inside of the vehicle.
Have we got big intrusion? He has got a shift there, hasn't he, into the centre console?
Into the back and there.
To try and establish what might be causing Matthew's paralysis, she looks at photos of the crash to see if she can glean any clues.
By all accounts, he was into a lamppost, then onto a tree.
So with those scene photos, we need to go to major trauma centre. The options are we tube him, or we take him straight and we tube him if necessary. His numbers are perfect. He looks good. He had voluntary swallow. Been watching him swallow.
Just not wanting to respond to it, is he?
No.
Having examined the scene, Polly suspects Matthew has internal injuries. She tries one last time to wake him. She gives his skin a sharp pinch to see if he has any response to pain.
I think on paper we are GCS3. I have given a really big painful stimulus.
Big mechanism.
Big mechanism of injury. He's got voluntary eyelash reflex. He's got some swallow. Yeah. But I've given a very painful stimulus and no dice. Right, we'll go to Stoke, walk us into sleep.
I'll just tell the OM exactly what we're doing and I'll set it. Hi, you're right. So it's a long journey to Stoke. We're going to put him to sleep. There's something doesn't add up here. He's just not responding to pain.
We're doing the RSI here then, are we?
Yes,
okay,
yeah. Is that all right?
Concerned Matthew may have a brain injury that could have life-changing consequences, Polly decides to put him into an induced coma to reduce swelling in the brain, protecting it from further damage.
Our journey time up to Stoke is about 35 to 40 minutes, so we're just going to quickly pop him to sleep for the journey and then he can go straight into a CT scanner to assess him for his injuries. Although we can't physically see any injuries on him at the moment, he's not waking up.
Matthew! Matthew! I'm having a look at his airway. He's got a smallish chin, but that looks pretty reasonable.
There is always a risk putting a patient into a coma, but doing it on an ambulance, 35 miles from the nearest trauma centre, the stakes are so much higher.
We'll optimise our airway position.
So the ventilator's working, I'm going to turn it off for now.
And what have we got there? Ket, rock, a bag of fluid for flushes.
So I think we're pretty much there now.
The checks are done, drugs drawn up, Polly is ready to anaesthetise.
Oh, hello. Oh. All right, buddy. That's about on time.
When Matthew suddenly comes round.
Matthew, open your eyes. Hello, buddy. You're on the back of an ambulance, sir. Matt, open those eyes for me again. So we've had voluntary eye opening, that's great. Obeying commands, 9. Can you talk to me, buddy? My name's Dr. Hayward. We're near Shrewsbury, fella. You've been in an accident. Hi, Matt. I know we're dressed up like out of something like out of ET, all right, but you have had a period of being unconscious. Do you know where you are? No. So I think what we'll do is we're all ready to go. If we give you a nod, we can RSI on the way. There's no indication to put this patient to sleep.
As Matthew is now conscious and responding to Polly, the anaesthesia is aborted.
Have you got pain anywhere?
Everywhere.
Everywhere? Where hurts, fella?
Right there.
Your back and your neck. OK, sweetheart. So if you can bring that neck a little bit straighter, we're going to just tape you here to keep your neck nice and still, buddy, OK? Have you got pain in this tummy? Are you OK? Or is it in your back? Belly in your back. All right, sweetheart. Right, let's just leave sooner rather than later.
Matthew may have spinal damage. He needs an urgent CT scan to check for any fractures in his vertebrae, which could cause paralysis.
We have a 28-year-old male who was a driver of a car, high speed, impact into a lamppost and a tree.
Sarah updates the trauma desk on Matt's condition and to alert the hospital of their arrival.
Was a GCS of 3, but still had eyelid reflexes in the way of blinking when you touched his eyelids, but there was no response to pain.
Dr. Polly continuously monitors Matthew during the journey to Stoke.
Thank you.
Got it. OK.
All good, yeah, thank you.
OK, just monitor.
15 minutes later, the critical care team can finally hand Matt over to the waiting trauma doctors.
blood pressure's good. You are quite tacky. I think you're probably quite dehydrated.
Critical care paramedic Jack Lewis is treating 75-year-old local resident Tony after he collapsed unconscious in the street.
Hello. Have a little bit of water for me.
He has a nasty head wound and may have a bleed to his brain or suffered a stroke.
This is Tony, so Tony's fairly regular fixture around here.
An ambulance crew has arrived to take him to hospital. Jack briefs them on his initial assessment.
He's walked down the street a bit unsteady, held onto that and then collapsed, fell to the pavement, hit his head as you can see, with a brief period of LOC. On my arrival, GCS 14, sat himself up, no obvious neck pain, not complaining of pain anywhere else. Wound here, not actively bleeding, a bit boggy and a bit kind of angulated.
Right then, Tony.
We'll get you on this stretcher, Tony.
You on our stretcher? Legs together, that's it.
Ready to push? 1, 2, 3. Good man.
Tony needs an urgent scan and full investigation into the underlying cause of his collapse.
I'll pop you up to Russell's Hall to get your head looked at. Why? Because you've cut your head.
That's 3 or 4 days more.
It's not. You've done it today.
You've got a nasty bump as well.
Not today.
All the blood on the pavement says otherwise.
Jack knows there could be many reasons for Tony's confusion. Heat exhaustion, dehydration, or something more life-changing.
GCS 14 initially.
You don't remember falling at all?
Not today.
No. Okay.
Even more reason to pop up the hospital then. Need to get that looked at.
After updating the trauma desk on his assessment, Jack has done all he can for Tony at the scene.
Take care, Tony. Feel better soon, sir. OK.
And hands him into the care of the ambulance crew for the journey to hospital.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
I don't know, just reduced an accident.
What type of, is it a road traffic accident?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's actually happened?
I don't know, I was right in the back and I just heard a crash.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing? I'm not sure, we just heard the bump and we've gone running down and there's somebody on the floor. Okay, is the patient breathing and awake? I don't know, they've just sent me to run back. Okay, so is it cars?
No, it's cars and pedestrians.
Initial reports that we got on this are there are 2 pedestrian patients, peri-arrest.
It's Saturday afternoon, and critical care paramedics Alistair McNeil and Richard Apps are on shift.
OK.
Their specialist knowledge and equipment is the reason why they get sent to some of the most serious medical emergencies across the West Midlands.
So we're heading to an RTC in Wolverhampton area, reported as 2 pedestrians that are peri-arrest, and we're probably about 10 to 15 minutes out.
Peri-arrest is when a patient's body is in a highly unstable condition and they're in danger of going into a cardiac arrest at any moment. Multiple emergency services are on their way.
The latest update on the radio is that we have 2 helimed en route, both with doctors, so the potential injuries are significant. Whiskey Romeo 7062. Is there any information on patients' conditions at all?
Patient number 1 is a female, early 20s, potential head injury, quite agitated, and an injury to her right arm. And then patient number 2, male in his 20s, same head injury with agitation. He's got lacerations to his chest and back, and he's got a partial amputation of his right wrist.
Whiskey Romeo 7062, we're approximately 1 minute from the scene.
Thank you.
The accident's taken place on a residential street. When Rich and Alistair arrive, 3 ambulances are already there, as well as the first of the air ambulance crews.
have that lady there.
Right.
And then we'll put this one with the aircraft crew.
While the Helimed team focus on the male patient who's already in an ambulance, Rich and Alistair turn their attention to the female.
Hi all.
Oh, electric scooter. Both occupants of the scooter? Right.
19-year-old Shante had been riding with her boyfriend on an e-scooter when they collided with a car. Neither were wearing helmets. Shante struck her head in the impact and has also sustained injuries to her legs and arm.
What have we got so far?
No obvious C-spine, spinal pain, injury. Says she can't feel her legs, but she's moving. Blood pressure did drop a minute ago, but that's stabilised at the moment. Keeps going between agitated, unresponsive. At the moment, she's calm, she can hear us.
Yeah. GCS?
GCS.
Rough or out poo?
It's kind of 15.
She's talking to you?
Yeah.
Although she's now conscious, Shantae's condition is critical.
And blood is coming from, do we know?
Mouth, we've got a wound to the mouth, wound to the ear, big wound to the left arm, quite a nasty wound to this elbow, possibly down to the bone, as best we could see.
Okay.
Do you need anything else?
2.5 ml syringe.
One?
Yeah.
At base, critical care paramedics Kerry Hemus and Faye Pollock are starting their shift and making sure the car is fully stocked, ready for whatever emergency comes their way.
So like a pick and mix of drugs, albeit we'd prefer them to be white mice, ice creams, and little fizzy cherries. But they're all good and they're all essential.
So we've got some sedation, we carry ketamine, midazolam, and we've got some drugs that will assist in bringing the blood pressure up if required. We can't give all of the drugs in this bag. There are some that are for doctors. It just means that if we get to a case and the doctor responds, we've got the drugs that they may require.
Hello, ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
Somebody's collapsed in the sports hall.
Male or female patient?
It's an older gentleman.
He stopped breathing?
He stopped breathing. Yeah, he's collapsed. And there are staff working on him.
But he has stopped breathing?
Yeah, he has stopped breathing. They're working on him.
We do need to carry on that CPR until the paramedics arrive, or obviously they say stop. We are coming as quickly as we can on blue lights and sirens, okay?
We've had it come through now, thank you. We are going to a leisure centre, to a 70-year-old person who is in cardiac arrest.
A sudden cardiac arrest is a code red emergency. The heart has stopped, no blood is pumping to the brain or other organs, and without treatment, death will occur within minutes. Faye and Kerry's enhanced cardiac care experience is urgently required.
I would imagine the lifeguards have had a shock of their lives and are now performing CPR.
Just further info as well going on the case, shocked 3 times with an AED so far, Vera.
Roger, that's received. Thank you.
Fewer than 1 in 10 people who suffer an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survive. However, the swift use of an AED or automated defibrillator can significantly increase the patient's chances.
They've got a defibrillator and they have shocked them 3 times.
Local paramedics are already on scene treating the patient.
Tempted to get a level 3 here to stop carrying things.
Faye and Kerry arrive to find the man conscious.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Martin Jones.
Martin. What were you doing when this... Were you playing squash?
Badminton.
Badminton. Has anyone explained what's happened?
I've had a heart attack.
Well, you've had a full cardiac arrest, so you stopped breathing and your heart stopped pumping through itself, okay? So, with regard to medical conditions, that's the worst that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
But the response that you've got, obviously from your colleagues and from the staff, they have brought you back to life, okay?
Although Martin has been very fortunate and the leisure centre staff managed to restart his heart using a defibrillator, he's still in danger.
You're obviously very poorly. We just got to now work out why it happened. So we are immediately going to get you to hospital. Yeah. All right, just hold nice and still a second, Martin.
Martin could rearrest at any moment.
If you don't feel well, you need to say something's happening, don't feel well, whether it's sick, even if you just feel a little bit dizzy, let's just say, all right, and we'll get you sorted immediately, all right?
I don't exactly feel almost sick.
No, absolutely.
03, how are you?
It's a little bit patchy to the west, but it should be good to go.
It's just after dawn at RAF Cosford, 8 miles outside Wolverhampton.
No sample, no wristband.
The crew of the Midlands Air Ambulance are preparing for the day ahead. Flying in Helimed 03 are Dr. Matt Rowley and critical care paramedic Karen Baker. Capable of travelling at 150 miles per hour, they'll be called to medical emergencies where time is most critical.
Hello, ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
He is, yes. He's just collapsed.
Right, is he conscious?
No, he's just fallen into almost like a sleep. Said he's been stung, but he is diabetic. He's outside the front of our shop at the moment.
He's been stung?
Yes, he's been stung 5 times by bees, he thinks.
How old is he?
Just over 60.
That has been organised for him, OK.
Whiskey Alpha, Helimed 03.
Helimed 03, go ahead.
2-3, thank you. We're en route with an ETA of 2 minutes.
Although most people suffer no side effects from a bee sting, about 1 in 30 adults experience a severe allergic reaction called anaphylaxis, which in the most extreme cases can be fatal within minutes. With a medical emergency on their hands, Karen and Dr. Matt are dispatched.
You get into the Works Golf Club on Keepers Lane. It's a male in his 60s and he's been stung by the bee 5 times. Patient is diabetic and apparently has an allergy to bee stings, currently unconscious, breathing quite irregular, with no obvious swelling to the face.
Thank you, that's all received. Is he at the main clubhouse?
Is it 3? He's in the shop.
Anaphylaxis can have a rapid onset, and every second counts.
So, 12 o'clock now, in about 600 metres should be the clubhouse. Ah, here we go. Right 2 o'clock low.
Whiskey Alpha, Helimed 03, we're in the overhead looking to land.
That's received, thank you.
Descending.
When responding to an emergency call, the air ambulance pilot is allowed to land anywhere it's safe and legal. But that does bring with it some unique challenges.
There's a buggy coming across.
Yeah.
Oh, don't stop there. Oh, he stopped right on that path.
I want to land on the grass beyond him.
Yeah. He's now got out of his buggy.
Oh, well, he's trying to be helpful, isn't he? Let's just land here, shall we? Right, clear all around?
All good.
Yeah. There we go.
How are you doing? You right?
Right.
When Karen and Dr. Matt arrive, an ambulance crew is treating the patient.
This is Steve, who was stung by bees, came back here and has collapsed.
Okay.
And being mentioned to somebody that he is allergic to bees.
Steve is a groundsman at the club and was tending to a fairway when the swarm of bees struck. He managed to drive his buggy back to the clubhouse before losing consciousness for some time.
Been fitting apparently, has he, or?
Well, he's shaking, but he's responding to us, so
Yeah, he's able to open his eyes, he's able to respond to you, so I don't think it's fitted that way, but it's this sort of jerking movement as well. He's had IM adrenaline so far.
Okay. Where did you get stung, Steve?
On your finger.
On your finger? Right, okay. Yeah.
On my head.
On your head?
Yeah.
How old are you, Steve?
61.
61? 61. Can we turn you over onto your side so we can have a look at you? Good man. That's it. Just pop this under your head. Oh. Stick your tongue out for me. Good.
An anaphylactic reaction can cause a range of symptoms throughout the body, from swelling in the throat, which makes breathing difficult, to a cardiac arrest.
Was chest clear, was it, when you had to listen? No worries,
just a little quiet.
Although Steve's breathing hasn't been compromised, he's been having spasms and is feeling faint and dizzy.
So when you've been stung before, Steve, what's happened? You swell up? How long ago was that when you last got stung and you swelled up? Did you end up in hospital?
Yeah.
In Dudley.
I presume you didn't have a headache yesterday or any nausea, any vomiting? No. Nothing like that?
Critical care paramedic Faye is trying to work out why Martin suddenly went into cardiac arrest after a game of badminton.
I'm sorry, it's all a lot of commotion around you.
The sports centre staff used a defibrillator, which almost certainly saved Martin's life.
Were you the guys doing CPR? Well done. Very, very well done. Yeah. He's talking away. We're not sure what's going on, so we're going to take him to Russell's and get them to try and figure out what's going on. But amazing work by you guys.
I'll just get the Lucas backboard just in case.
Although Martin is stable enough to transport to hospital, a patient with an unstable heart can rearrest at any moment. Faye makes sure the Lucas, an automated chest compression device, can be quickly attached if Martin goes into a second arrest.
Let's see if we can just lie you on this. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I know, sorry. We'll warm you up, we promise.
6-2, are you ready for some details?
Kerry updates the control room so they can make sure the hospital team are ready to take over treating Martin.
We've got a male of 73 years old. He was in the sports hall, I believe he was playing badminton. Didn't feel any pain or anything, but collapsed into a VF. CPR immediately, shocked by the defib. We're going to be going to Russell's Hall. I reckon ETA about 5 minutes from now, Emma. Fabulous, thank you. I'll see you up at Russell's, my lovely. Oh.
Right then, Martin, I'm just going to wet your lips. I can't give you too much to drink, but it's enough just to... If you open your mouth a second, that's it.
Faye travels with Martin to the hospital.
He's completely holding his own. He's got a superb set of numbers.
She monitors the electrocardiogram, which gives an accurate reading of how well his heart is functioning after the cardiac arrest.
Wow.
Martin, when you get out of here, pick 6 numbers today and go and get them put on tonight. Tell you what, you're lucky that there was such good staff around you. They've done absolutely fantastically well for you.
You assure me you're not in any pain?
No, my chest feels a little tight.
Your chest feels a little tight, OK.
Although Martin's readings are strong, the sooner they can get him to hospital, the sooner the team there can try to work out the cause of his cardiac arrest.
It might feel as if someone's had their hands on you. I think that's because they were jumping up and down on your chest. And if I was to touch it, does that make the pain any worse? No. Have you had any paracetamol or anything today?
No.
So we could give him a gram of paracetamol, couldn't we? Right then, Martin, we're just giving you some paracetamol, but it's going straight into your blood, OK? So that chest discomfort should go.
41 minutes after his cardiac arrest, Faye hands her patient safely into the care of waiting hospital specialists. For Martin, it's been a lucky escape.
What saved Martin's life was the lifeguards and the staff at that leisure centre who've all been trained in CPR and the use of the defibrillator. His heart had stopped and he wasn't breathing, so left unaided, Martin would have died. So if it wasn't for the actions of the people on the scene, it could be a very, very different story for Martin.
(7062).
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Good morning, Becky. Yes, pretty good, thanks. All good.
Back at base, critical care paramedic Will Meadows is signing on for shift.
Just doing some final kit checks on the car, and then we'll be good to go.
Are you with anybody today?
I am. I'm with Jethro Bartle.
Okay. Have a good morning, and we'll speak to you later.
Thanks, mate.
Hopefully we'll get to make someone's day a bit better today. If they're having a bad day, we'll try and make it a bit better.
Ambulance services, the patient breathing?
I don't know, it's just been a big car crash.
And how many cars are involved?
2. Somebody is injured on the floor. Somebody's got a head injury. I don't know if anybody in the other car.
I have arranged the ambulance, so not to worry.
There's been multiple calls on this one, so a few bystanders sound concerned. That can be an indication that it's quite a severe accident, and then you've got the potential for serious injuries. I think we're going to be first on scene.
Local ambulances, police and fire have been dispatched along with the critical care team.
The main priority, I think, is to triage, establish what's happened, find out how many patients you do have, and then organise those patients into some sort of category so that we can attend our poorest patients first. Oh well, the fire crew are here. A fairly good impact, looks head on.
2 cars have crashed in a busy residential road.
Jethro, would you mind giving a quick sort of windscreen report? Is that all right? Hiya, no worries.
The fire and rescue service have made an initial assessment. Their commander briefs Will on the casualties.
One man.
Yeah.
Head injuries.
Yeah.
One lady over there.
Okay.
Ankle injury.
Okay.
One more.
Hello, sir.
Over there. Small laceration, side dead.
Okay.
He was the driver of that one.
Okay.
2 in the silver car.
Okay.
Will needs to prioritise the most severely injured.
Hello, sir. Got a good head injury there.
First Anthony, who was a front seat passenger.
Did you have your seatbelt on? Yeah. Did you have did your airbags go off?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you knocked out at all?
No.
No? And you got any pain anywhere?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
My neck.
Your neck, okay.
Anthony and his partner Jade were just nipping out to get their kids some tea. As they pulled out from their parking spot, they were hit by an oncoming car.
Which direction were you facing?
That way.
You're facing that way? In which car?
In this Fiesta.
In that Fiesta, so it's turned you around?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The driver of the other car has declined medical assessment. So Jethro tends to Jade.
As the adrenaline wears off, you might feel a little bit sick. That's perfectly normal, don't worry about that.
Despite being in severe pain, she managed to drag herself out of the car and back to her front door.
Is this leg any worse?
Yeah.
But you can feel down here?
I feel you touching, yeah.
OK, I'm not going to move your leg unnecessarily. Wiggle your toes. Is that painful?
Yeah.
Really? Is that normally painful?
No.
Jethro suspects Jade has broken her ankle.
Will you get some painkillers?
Please.
We'll get you an ambulance and we'll get you an X-ray for that.
All right.
For this, a good starting point is what we call Entonox. It just takes the edge off.
Entonox is a mixture of oxygen and nitrous oxide that should relax Jade as well as dull her pain.
Now, this might make your voice a little bit funny.
Yep.
It might make you feel a bit lightheaded.
Okay.
You get those side effects quite quickly.
But Jade needs to take a good few breaths to get the benefit.
Let's swap this to that side.
You've touched it. Sorry.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Your wire touched
sorry.
it.
Just that touched it.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm just going to have a little feel of your neck here. You're holding it just here. Is that where it's hurting, is it? Yeah? OK, mate.
Injuries sustained in RTCs aren't always immediately obvious because of the force involved. It's important to rule out anything life-threatening.
So it's tender on the right-hand side there.
Will needs to be sure that Anthony's head injury isn't more serious than a flesh wound, because a sudden blow to the head can lead to dangerous swelling of the brain.
What did you hit your head on, do you think?
I don't know, man. Not managed to check legs yet. Didn't want to expose her too much with all the people around.
In Wolverhampton, critical care paramedics Richard Apps and Alistair McNeil are treating a 19-year-old woman who's been involved in a road traffic collision.
Finish flushing your cannula. Let's get her on the stretcher on the back of the truck, and then we'll have more space.
Shante had been riding with her boyfriend on an e-scooter when they collided with a car. Neither were wearing protective clothing.
So at the moment we've got 2 patients with critical injuries, unfortunately, and significant damage from head-on into a car by the looks of it, which is a shame. Electric scooters as well, unfortunately, so no helmets that anybody's wearing.
While a Helimed team leads the treatment of her boyfriend, Rich and Alistair are focusing on Shante.
Can we get the oxygen back on, or was she not?
She threw it off a minute ago, yeah.
Let's just put this oxygen mask on you.
She has injuries to her legs and mouth and a deep cut on her elbow.
You happy there's enough of us to lift without straps?
It's got one on.
Got one on, that'll do us, won't it?
Rich and Alistair want to get her into the ambulance as quickly as possible.
OK, don't worry too much about her head. If she's... just tell her to keep it still for now.
Happy that we're going to fold up.
Just get rid of this. Fine. OK.
We're going to get you onto the ambulance.
Get her to keep her head still.
As a result of her head injury, Shante is confused and tells the paramedics her name is Charlene.
Charlene, can you just ask her to squeeze my hands, mate?
Will you just squeeze the gentleman's hands for us, Charlene?
Yeah, so obeying commands.
Charlene, your eyes for me. That's better. Keep talking to me, sweetheart, yeah?
Shantae's conscious, but in a lot of pain.
Really, really important. I know it hurts.
While Shantae's cuts and lacerations are clear to see, it's the possibility of internal injuries that's giving Rich and Alistair cause for concern.
Charlene, what's hurting?
The second doctor-led Helimed team has arrived to help.
Have you had any treatment? No checks, nothing?
Nothing yet,
no checks yet.
Literally, we haven't got IV yet.
Got a vein this side. Charlene, keep your arm still for me.
Where were your tourniquets?
I will need a tourniquet, but just press the BP cuff.
Alistair inserts a cannula into Shantae's arm, so the doctor will be able to give drugs intravenously.
I'm going to need a bit of gauze here. Sorry, mate. 10 mil flush, very nicely. Lovely.
Can you do a BM?
Don't think anybody will have done a BM yet.
The BM kit measures a patient's blood sugar levels. It's used to help build a picture of their overall condition.
Sorry. Where are we?
BP is on cycle, guys.
OK, we've got 9.4 as a blood sugar, people. And a BP is 97/48.
She's quite a slight lady, isn't she?
Yeah. Cannula that I've just flushed for you.
Right, fluids are ready to run.
With Shante now prepped for the journey to hospital, Rich and Alistair hand over to the Helimed team.
Anything else you want, guys, before we dismiss? Or do you just want to do stuff on the way?
Yeah.
As the helicopter had to land some distance away, it's decided the quickest option is by road.
Thanks very much.
OK, see you guys.
Can you clear out of the way of the entrance, because we're going to reverse in there, guys?
Shante and her boyfriend will be taken to the major trauma centre at Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where a specialist team is on standby to treat their injuries.
She hasn't got any rash or swelling, has she?
In Wolverhampton, critical care paramedic Karen Baker and Dr. Matt Rowley are treating a man who suffered multiple bee stings.
No tongue swelling, no.
No lips, tongue's fine, so no wheeze on the chest. Got no rash anywhere.
61-year-old Steve says he's allergic to insect bites and collapsed soon after being stung.
The temperature 30%.
But Dr. Matt and Karen are struggling to find any evidence of an anaphylactic reaction.
Do you have any other medical problems, Steve, that you suffer from? Do you have any problems with your heart? No. No. Okay. Just your thyroid, okay.
Have you done a BM?
Yeah, BM
He's
was
diabetic,
15.
isn't he? 15. So he's a little bit hypotensive.
Have you got any fluids with you guys?
Yeah. I'll get some.
You just give him a 250, Kaz?
Yeah, yeah.
The only symptom that Dr. Matt and Karen can identify is low blood pressure, which may explain why Steve's feeling faint.
Yeah, I'll give you a squeeze. Got a nice straight one there.
Keep you nice and still for me.
Giving fluids intravenously should help increase his blood pressure.
Do you want to get off the floor, Steve? It's not nice down there.
Should we just sit you up, just see how you get on, and we'll see whether we can stand you. So just nice and steady, just up onto your bum and back against the bend.
Bend towards me, mate.
That's it. That's it. Good man. All right, let's just have a breather there for a second. That's it. Good man.
How do you feel a bit sat up? Yeah.
Bit dizzy. All right.
A bit sweaty, aren't you?
Right, Steve, when you're ready, all right, so just up, and then we're going to, the bed's right to the side of you, so just plonk your bum on that, OK? That's it. Good
Well
man.
done. Well done. Oh,
OK.
a little bit further.
That's it. Good man.
There we go.
Well
Lift yourself back.
Steve is taken to the ambulance for further observations.
You can pop your head back, Steve. That's it. Give another blood pressure, eh?
Yes. Just straighten that arm for me, Steve. Just relax. That's going to get tight on your arm again. There we go. Right, let's have a little snap of that. 117.73, that's much better. Good stuff.
How are you feeling now? Bit better. Good.
You want yourself a trip down to New Cross, see what's happened.
Although Steve doesn't seem to be experiencing a severe allergic reaction, having collapsed with a period of unconsciousness, he'll still need to go to hospital for a checkup.
He's got no evidence of any sort of anaphylactic reaction whatsoever, has he? There's no rash, there's nothing.
But he's had a dose of adrenaline. Sometimes adrenaline can just stop it in its tracks, can't it?
So he looks fine, doesn't he?
He looks fine and he's improved.
Steve will be taken by road.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Freeing up the Helimed crew to respond to the next emergency.
Allergic reactions to wasps or bee stings can be life-threatening. Fortunately for Steve, though, he's had a fairly minor reaction and he's looking absolutely fine now. Back to base and see what happens the rest of the day. See you through. See you through. Leaving with the crew, mate. We're free and heading back to the aircraft.
Ambulance services, patient breathing.
They are, yes.
What's the reason for the call?
Lady's just had an asthma attack.
And was she struggling desperately for every breath when you spoke to her?
She has pulled the emergency alarm. She says she's taken her inhaler. There's got to be a reason she's pulled the alarm, so I thought it was best to get somebody out to check on her.
Yeah, sure.
Just advising, Clifford's life-threatening asthma attack, 9 minutes away.
Yeah, Roger.
A life-threatening asthma attack is a Category 1 call allocated for the most serious cases.
Just ahead, keep left.
It means enhanced life support may be necessary. Critical care paramedics Ryan James and Ian Locke are immediately dispatched.
We've been assigned by the sector to a lady in her 50s who's suffering with an asthma attack. That's about all we know currently.
Asthma attacks leave patients struggling to get oxygen into their lungs as the muscles around their airways tighten. More than 1,400 people a year die from an asthma attack.
Okay, just there, man.
Immediate care is critical.
Hi, ambulance.
In Blackheath, the critical care team, Will Meadows and Jethro Bartle, are treating Jade and Anthony, who have been injured in a two-car smash.
No pain down here where I'm pressing? No, that's all right. Okay, all right. And you're not feeling like pins and needles or anything like that anywhere?
Yeah. Pins and needles could mean nerve or spinal damage. Anthony is able to stand, which is promising.
I want you to just very slowly just turn your head over to the left, okay? Just keep your body nice and straight. Turn your head over to the left.
But Will must assess his range of movement to be sure.
Where's it hurting? It's pulling on the side there. Okay, all right. So, I mean, my advice, mates, for now is just to keep it nice and straight, nice and still. I'm not too worried about any sort of spinal damage, but yeah, we do need to get your head wound looked at.
Anthony's injury will need further investigation at hospital to rule out possible brain trauma.
Do you mind if I take a picture of your head wound?
Before he dresses it, Will sends a photo to the hospital medics so they can assess the wound before he arrives.
So what we'll do, mate, I'm just going to try and push the skin back down over to where it should be, and then we'll put a bandage over it to try and keep any nasties out of there. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, it is good, mate. Just tell me if it hurts, okay? Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm going to pop this on. So if you hold that there, buddy. Thank you.
Not too tight though, bud.
Yeah, sure. I think we're looking all right. That's certainly going to stop the blood dripping down, and it's going to protect that wound from getting infected, okay?
Anthony's wound is under control, but his partner Jade's pain is not. She has a suspected broken ankle, which needs an X-ray. Despite the Entonox, she is still in significant discomfort.
What I'd like to do is find a vein, pop a needle and give you some paracetamol.
Intravenous paracetamol is a more powerful pain reliever, but there's a problem.
Not good with needles.
OK.
Go on, you got my hands. You'll be around.
Take a few breaths of that. Keep breathing that. I can't do it if you're flinching.
Stay still.
OK, nice and relaxed, all right. OK. Just relax. The horrible bit's finished.
With the cannula successfully inserted, the paracetamol going straight into Jade's bloodstream should make her pain more manageable.
It's just a bit of plastic now. There's no needle in there, it's just a tiny bit of plastic. But please don't knock it out, otherwise we have to start again. I don't mind, but I'm sure you will.
Oh, hi, guys.
The ambulance crew arrived to take the couple to hospital. Now dosed with additional pain relief, the paramedics can start the delicate task of getting Jade on the stretcher. First, they must secure her ankle.
We need your foot in that, that's the story.
They use a vacuum splint.
We're going to put it around your ankle and suck all the air out so it goes nice and stiff.
Keeping weight off the ankle is critical. If it is broken, putting pressure on it could lead to permanent damage.
You need your heel there.
Do you want me to support it? Please. Ow!
That's it, that'll do. That's great.
Okay.
With her ankle finally secure,
yeah, give us your hand, love. All right, push, like, push.
They can move her onto the waiting stretcher.
Push your bottom back.
With both Anthony and Jade stable, Will and Jethro leave them in the hands of the ambulance crew and prepare themselves for the next critical care call-out. Critical care paramedics Ian Locke and Ryan James have been tasked to a call which was reported as a life-threatening asthma attack.
Hello. Who are we here for today? Who here for you, is it? Heather, my name's Ian.
Hello.
This is Ryan.
Hi, Heather.
How can we help today? What's the problem?
I've suffered with asthma.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've had asthma for years now.
Okay.
Heather was walking back from the shops when the asthma attack came on. She managed to get home and call for help.
And I'm not so bad now, because
Okay.
I'm down.
Have you taken your puffer as
Yes,
well?
I'm taking
okay.
the puffer.
All right. So it's now 12:30. When did this sort of start today, Heather? How long ago?
I'm just when I come back.
Oh, okay. And have you taken your puffer as well?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Heather's inhaler seems to have calmed her attack. It contains medicine to relax the muscles in the airways and make breathing easier.
Is this young lady related to you?
Yes, it's my mum.
How does she look to you? How does she a normal colour? Does she look relaxed?
She looks all right, but
Yeah.
she's been very poorly.
Okay, all right. Am I all right to pop this on your finger?
Yes, of course.
Ian needs to make sure she's getting enough oxygen. Low oxygen levels can interfere with heart and brain function.
Were you exerting yourself when it came on? Were you walking?
No. Well, I've just done like normal every day.
Yeah.
You know, what I normally do.
Okay, all right. So it's just come on a bit short notice. Made you a bit short of breath.
Yes.
You've sat down and relaxed,
Yes,
taken your puff, and it seems to have eased a bit, yeah?
Although it's good that the inhaler has made such a difference, asthma attacks out of the blue are a worrying sign that the condition may have worsened and isn't being properly managed.
You don't look like you're gasping for breath, but we'll give you a bit of an MOT and make sure there's nothing underlying. So have you had to go and see your GP at all recently? Any health issues, anything happening? No chest infections, coughs, colds or anything? Brilliant. We'll do your blood pressure as well while we're here.
Asthma attacks are incredibly frightening for sufferers, as the breaths they can take get shorter and shorter as the muscles around their airway tighten up.
Just relax this arm as much as you can, OK? Try not to tense up. That's just going to squeeze it.
Keeping Heather calm and relaxed is key.
So look at that. Gold standard blood pressure, that.
Lovely.
126/80. So at the minute, everything looks quite good. So I don't think there's any real active treatment that we need to do.
Heather doesn't need to go to hospital. But given her existing conditions and the fact that the original call was so serious, Ian has to be sure he isn't missing anything.
Just because I'm going to leave you here, I'm just going to do a 12 lead, so it just has a bit of a better look at your heart, just to make sure there's nothing underlying.
A 12 lead is another name for an electrocardiogram, which screens the electrical rhythms of the heart.
Excellent, that's all fine.
And all the results are pointing in the right direction.
So how do you feel now? Okay, be a bit more reassured. I think the best thing is you just to try and relax, chill out for today.
It's our fish and chip supper tonight.
Is it? Oh, fish and chips.
Friday, isn't it?
Well, it's Friday, yeah, I say fish and chip Friday.
What's good about what's happened today potentially is because you've used your own inhaler, it gives you the confidence that your inhaler does work and it is helping you.
And the key thing is to do it early. Sit down, because that drops the stress.
That's right.
And if you think you're wheezing away, take your inhaler. We'll take everything off, we'll pack stuff away, and then what we'll do is we'll just leave you in peace to chill out for the afternoon and look forward to your fish supper.
You want me to move that back for you? Everyone's got a place for things, haven't they?
Yes. Oh, that's lovely, thank you.
Right, ladies,
I'll bring your walker back to you as well. Take care, ladies.
Thankfully, this call didn't require any enhanced life-saving skills, but it could easily have.
Asthma is, at its extreme, a life-threatening condition and needs prompt and emergency treatment. The real sharp end of asthma is life-threatening or can, unfortunately, result in death. So it is something that we need to take serious, and that's why it's got a very high category.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Yes, we think so. There's a few people in the car that seem trapped and semi-conscious.
And is there multiple patients?
7 in total. There was me and 2 people in my car, but we're okay. The other car didn't see it. 2 people are trapped in the back. I'd say 2 or 3 badly injured.
Okay. Help has been arranged, okay? We are contacting fire and police as well, okay? We will be there with you as soon as they can.
With reports of a serious RTC and multiple casualties, Mitch and Dr. Alex are immediately dispatched.
Update for you. There's a gentleman in the back of the white DSV. He's been in the process of extricated at the moment.
Roger, that's all received, over.
So the first ambulance resources arrived on scene and found several occupants, all of whom are conscious and breathing, and one of whom is apparently still trapped in the vehicle. That implies that there's been a fair amount of force or damage such that the patient can't get out.
It's 20 minutes since the 999 call when Alex and Mitch arrive. It's clear from the crash site that the two cars collided at speed.
You all right, Kevin?
Mitch and Alex are briefed by the operations manager.
The main concern is the chap who's in the rear of the white car.
Okay, cool.
They're just cutting him out of the road.
Lovely, I'm going to have a look at them then.
Most of the 7 occupants have had a lucky escape, with only minor injuries. But one man is still trapped inside the wreckage.
What's your name, mate?
James.
James?
20-year-old.
Yeah.
Weak radial.
Yeah.
144.
Yeah.
Can't get a blood pressure.
Yeah.
He's on oxygen.
Yeah, see
if his legs will crack.
Yeah.
So, what's the main injuries have you identified?
Okay, all he's complaining about was his back, but I couldn't assess his legs or his pelvis at the time.
Yeah.
I listened to his chest, which was clear, but he was making a lot of groaning noises.
20-year-old James is in pain, and he has a weak pulse, indicating his blood pressure is low and he could be bleeding from somewhere.
Right, so he's got a radial, he's got a good sat trace, he's tachycardic, he's got reasonable veins at the moment. Got a trolley.
Pretty poorly.
Yeah, trolley and scoop. Let's get the trolley and the scoop out. I need him out quickly.
Tachycardic means James's heart's beating too fast, a sign he could have internal injuries. But Dr. Alex can't fully assess him until he's out of the wreckage.
Come back. Could that seat come forward?
Mitch keeps a watchful eye on James's condition as fire crews work to free him.
It's all right, that'll come out.
Hands on, please. Hands on. Standing on the board.
Jack, when we're up on the board, we're getting side by side, tip him and slide him in, okay? Okay, head to me, yeah, head to me. Lovely, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Good, well done. Okay. Good. You all right, perfect, yeah. Right.
And you'll need a pelvic bind on in a second as well. Fair play to you lads, well done. And ladies.
Once they get James into the ambulance,
Nice and steady, Holly.
Alex and Mitch will be able to do a thorough assessment of his injuries.
James, where's the pain? Pardon? In your ribs, okay. Do you want to grab some morphine for him? 2.55, he's in a lot of pain.
Okay, James, small needle in the back of your hand now.
Mitch gives him morphine to bring his pain under control.
What's the matter, James, sorry? You can't breathe, mate.
If James has broken ribs, he could also have punctured a lung, which would impact his breathing.
No crepitus, no emphysema, chest is moving.
Okay.
But Dr. Alex swiftly rules that out.
So the I can't breathe, I suspect is all bleeding.
Yeah, and he looks a bit pasty, doesn't he?
Concern here is this chap's critically hypovolemic.
Instead, Alex thinks James may have severe internal bleeding.
Yeah, 153 is the pulse rate.
His condition is critical, and he needs urgent hospital treatment.
He's dirt sick, bleeding. Yeah. Are we good to go?
We need to get going. Close the doors, get ready to go.
Ambulance service, hello, is the patient breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing.
What's happened?
He got shot.
He's been shot?
Yeah.
And where has the patient been shot? Which part of the body?
Head.
In his head?
Yeah.
Is the offender there?
No, he's gone. He's over, mate. That's a drive-by. He's come back.
Okay, just leave the scene for me. Right, just stay on the line for me. We've got some help coming. We're going to be sending police as well, okay?
It's a serious incident, and multiple emergency services are dispatched. Among them, critical care paramedic Ryan James and Dr. Ali Hussain.
On receiving.
Thank you. It's a shooting of a male currently being shot in the head. If you're in an RBP, wants to know.
Yeah, Roger, that's received. We're already on channel 80 over. So we've got a adult male who's been shot to the head, apparently.
I don't have any other information as of current, and we're about 7 minutes out-ish.
Getting shot on the head is never a good thing.
The West Midlands is experiencing a surge in gun crime, with more than a dozen firearms offences committed every week.
Delta 98.
90 receiving.
I'd update that as a 16-year-old male lying on the floor with a head injury, potential stabbing or shooting wound.
Thank you, and I'm sure you've seen on the note they're clearing that patient is in cardiac arrest now.
With his life hanging in the balance, the patient needs urgent treatment.
So the update from police is not safe for us to go to see.
Yeah, Roger, that's received.
But with armed police and a helicopter scouring the area for a potential gunman, Ali and Ryan must wait nearby until officers secure the scene.
Officer in this case in Shirley, possible cardiac arrest, found at the bottom of the stairs.
Every day, 100 people in the UK have an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest.
So we are going to a 20-year-old male who's collapsed in the street. Looks like we'll be first on scene.
These emergencies are so serious, the critical care team are often dispatched.
We're going to be taking you to the hospital, all right?
Yeah. Only 7% of victims survive.
Left unaided, Martin would have died.
But if treated quickly, many of the symptoms of a cardiac arrest are reversible.
Everyone clear?
Yep. And outcomes can be drastically improved.
I've got a pulse.
They have brought you back to life, okay?
With advanced training,
we've got an asystolic cardiac arrest. We've now got a good airway.
And specialist equipment.
So we're going to put the Lucas on him. Just then we can just do some good effective CPR.
Everyone clear for a second.
The critical care teams work with ambulance crews to provide the most advanced pre-hospital care.
So we're being sent along to see if there's any extra that we can add.
Giving victims of cardiac arrest the best possible chance of survival.
Ambulance service, as the patient breathing?
No, he's fallen. It's my elderly neighbour who's face down in the garden pool. He's 84.
Did you say they're not breathing?
I don't think so.
Are there any other neighbours you'd be able to go to get help?
No. One's recently died and the other two are disabled. I say I can't pull him out. He's face down in this fishbowl that they've got.
Right, okay. What's his name?
Ron.
Ronald's wife is how old?
103.
Okay, bless her. Well, we've got some ambulance help arranged, okay? We'll be there as soon as we can.
When a patient isn't breathing, it's automatically a Category 1 emergency. Critical care paramedics Tom Waters and Faye Pollock are immediately dispatched.
We are going to a gentleman, an elderly gentleman who we believe has been found in his garden pond at home. You just don't know. He might have slipped, he might have leant over, he might have had some kind of medical event that has caused him to collapse into the water. There's so many variables as to what might have happened to this chap.
2 local ambulance crews are also on their way.
Obviously, the ambulance crews will start their advanced life support, but we can just bring a few more drugs and a few more skills to enhance the recovery and the chances of survival for this gentleman.
It usually takes less than 10 minutes underwater to die from drowning. By the time Tom and Faye arrive, the paramedics have managed to get Ron out of his pond.
Got a head injury to the left side of his head.
But no one's sure how long he was submerged.
Do we got a temperature and a BM?
Temperature we do, it's low, BM is 6.3.
Now in level 3 PPE, Tom and Faye can lead the efforts to resuscitate him.
Check, let's put carotid pulse, femoral pulse, anything?
No, not on mine.
Nothing, let's get back on his chest then, thank you.
He's not breathing and his heart has stopped.
Do you mind if we swap?
Ron's wife says he went to feed his fish and she found him 15 minutes later.
And then what's your name, sorry? Amy. I'm Tom, and that's Faye. So I can't fill any pulse. So if we could just give some more fluid, and yeah, if you want to carry on with some CPR.
Tom and Faye need to get oxygen back into Ron's vital organs. They're using chest compressions to pump the blood.
Is it all right if you could get some fluids up and just start pushing that through?
While administering fluids intravenously to increase his blood pressure.
You got another bag of fluid?
Another one.
Another one, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so just the BG, please.
They must also intubate him by inserting a tube down his throat to clear his airway so they can mechanically control his breathing.
He's just got quite a long anterior, so you just need to probably put something.
Do you want something under his head?
Yeah, you just need something under his throat. Okay, so.
Oh, that'll do.
Thank you, and then just give us a couple of squeezes on that. Okay, let's try again. Okay, cough up. Okay, so Faye, I'm just going to talk out loud. We've got it at 23 at the teeth, we've got misting of the tube, and we've got an end tidal of 8.6 at the moment.
Let's just take a screenshot of that with your other hand, Tom.
The monitor shows the CPR's working and oxygen's returning to Ron's blood.
And when's our next pulse check? Is it about now?
You're about now.
20 seconds, okay.
But Tom and Faye still need to get his heart to restart.
Pulse check, let's go for the wall. Right.
Nothing.
In Rugeley,
James, nice big deep breath, matey.
critical care paramedics Stephen Mitchell and Dr. Alex James are treating a seriously ill patient who was involved in a road traffic collision.
So, just to recap then, injuries-wise, so he's got chest, he's complaining of pain, he's complaining of shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, so he's got multiple rib fractures. He's got pelvic bruising and a tender abdomen, and he's also fairly bloody pale.
Yeah, what are we on now, blood pressure-wise?
103.47, but lots of swing.
Alex suspects James is suffering severe internal bleeding as a result of his injuries.
What's hurting you most at the moment, James?
My ribs.
Your ribs. Left, right, or both? Say again. All of them, OK, not to worry.
Uncontrolled internal bleeding is life-threatening and could lead to cardiac arrest.
I suspect we're going to be cracking open the blood products en route. I'd suggest that they probably want to activate code red.
If James's vital signs don't improve, he'll need a blood transfusion in the ambulance.
I've still got the rest of the morphine to give him.
Happy days. How much has he had so far?
He's had 5 milligrams so.
Lovely. We'll start giving him some. We'll start giving him some fentanyl instead.
Fentanyl is a powerful painkiller, which can only be administered by a doctor.
How much fentanyl? If we do 200, so
that's
4 mils for now.
Agree with.
Heart rate 141 with a BP of 90 over 45.
Put the blanket on you.
Yeah, the blanket is on you, matey. That's it. We know, Joe. We're trying to sort it. Lovely. So at the moment, respiratory rate's calmed right down with the fentanyl. He's had all of it now. Saps are a bit low, but that's acceptable.
As the fentanyl begins to work, James's vital signs start to improve.
Right, OK, so we just need to keep a little eye on his respiratory rate. So the fentanyl's definitely hitting him. BP 111 over 55. But I think we're in control of things now. Everybody happy?
Yeah.
No, thanks, British. Just to keep you in the loop, things have actually improved. We haven't cracked the blood. We're not going to. We are probably 5 minutes from the queuing.
Yeah, we'll do it. Always mate. Thank you very much.
A blood transfusion won't be necessary after all.
All getting a lot better.
Yeah.
BP's coming up. James, wiggle your feet for me. Good man, well done, that's good.
James is handed over to the major trauma centre at Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where he'll be treated for his injuries.
So lots of reassuring signs in that we have got him to hospital still conscious, maintaining his own blood pressure without the need for blood products, but he does have a fairly severe burden of injury, and the concern will be how he responds to that over the next 24 to 72 hours, and he may or may not require some surgical intervention in order to help stop the bleeding or treat the injuries internally.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing? Yeah, he is. He's 2 years old. He fell from the window upstairs. Take a breath for me. Stay nice and calm for me. Is that him crying? Don't pick him up because he's fallen from such a height. We don't know what injuries he's got, okay? Now the ambulance crew, they should be arriving there with you shortly.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. And with a child's life potentially at risk, the critical care team, Stephen Mitch Mitchell and Peter Bowles, are immediately dispatched.
People always wonder why kids fall out of windows. It's to do with the fact that they've got slightly bigger heads, and being a 2-year-old, quite inquisitive looking out, the weight just carries them over.
Every day, a child in the UK is admitted to hospital after falling from a building. Injuries range from broken bones to major head impacts, which can cause long-term brain damage.
If the child has fallen out of the window, they're eligible for transfer to a major trauma centre.
62 crew on scene, asking to continue for now.
7062, we are ETA in 3 minutes.
An ambulance has already arrived at the scene. The critical care team are briefed by the crew.
Hiya.
Hello, right. So he was round the back in an upstairs window and then fallen onto a floor similar to this.
Concrete, yeah.
Yeah. His obs actually seem okay. We can't see any obvious injuries on him.
2-year-old Adam had been playing in an upstairs bedroom when he climbed out of the window and fell 15 feet onto concrete. To help Adam feel more comfortable, Mitch has pulled down his face mask.
Hello, are you Mum, are you? What's your name? Naneefa, OK. So, what time did this happen?
About 10-15 minutes before I called the ambulance.
OK. Have you had a feel round his head and that?
He fell from the window and landed on his side.
On his side, yeah. Yeah.
Although Adam has no visible signs of harm, Mitch wants to be sure he doesn't have any internal injuries.
I think with everything that's happened, you need to check up at the hospital to make sure he's all right.
We're at the RB.
In Birmingham, critical care paramedic Ryan James and Dr. Ali Hussain are preparing to treat the victim of a reported drive-by shooting.
Have you got your... Yeah, mine's in the front. That's for yours.
With a suspected gunman on the loose, they're on standby nearby until the location can be declared safe.
Just to update, 060, the aid with the ARBs on scene to confirm that he is now safe for all resources to attend.
9-8, making scene.
Okay. We have 2 patients now. Confirm whether the firearm has been discharged.
It's now more than 20 minutes since the incident was first reported.
Can somebody direct us to where the patients are?
Ali and Ryan need to get to the victims.
Hi guys, where are the patients?
That's the white van on the left side.
Cheers, thanks very much.
There's one there that's sat on the floor.
Yeah.
There's the second one to check out. It's further down the street on the right.
Roger, thank you very much. You all right, guys?
Yeah. This is our primary patient, the first one that we had.
Yeah.
He has an injury to his head. It's not bleeding massively, but there is quite a large lung. The passerby that came along said he had no pulse, no breathing, and he gave CPR, that's chest compressions and breaths.
All right, okay.
So
hey fella, let's have a little look at you, all right?
Although the man has a head wound, it's not consistent with a firearm.
So as far as you know, you've not been hit anywhere else at all?
It's just my head.
Just the head. And you can't remember what they hit you with? Okay.
Despite claims he was in cardiac arrest, the patient is now alert and responsive.
At the minute, we've got one male, arguably late teens, early 20s, with a head wound.
Ryan updates the control room.
No reports of any firearms involved in this situation. I know there's been reports of a second patient, but we just need to locate that patient. Received. Is there any confirmation of any firearms or patients with ballistic injuries? Don't know. Okay. No, in fact, an impact, it could be a projectile. Hi, mate, we're going to look after you, but at the minute, you're awake, you're conscious, you know what's going on. You don't appear to have a massively serious injury currently, unless you can tell me otherwise. Ali?
Yes?
If you're happy, I'm going to go with the second crew.
Yeah, Roger.
And I'm going to have a look to see what's going on with this other patient, OK?
Perfect.
So you stay with these two and I'll go down with them.
There you go, you're right.
While Ryan goes in search of the other patient, Ali prepares to hand the first over to an ambulance crew.
I was walking down the street, recalls being hit to the head, and the next thing he knows, he's on the floor. So he was witnessed to not have a pulse or breathing, allegedly, by this passerby, who's then gone and given him some CPR, apparently completed one round, during which time he's then gone and vomited and now he's awake. He seems to recall the event, to be honest with you. He actually remembers somebody getting on his chest and doing the chest compressions, so maybe just standing lying on the floor. Chest is fine, belly's okay. I've not managed to look down below, but he doesn't remember being hit anywhere else. Neck's all right, and the only injury is this egg on his right side. Obs are as you see them.
Having monitored his vital signs, Dr. Ali is satisfied the patient has not suffered a cardiac arrest.
You reckon you can walk with us to the ambulance, yeah?
Yes. All right, buddy, let's get you covered up.
He will be taken to hospital, where his head injury will receive further examination. In the meantime, Ryan has managed to locate the second victim.
He's been clearly assaulted and he's got abrasions and a small swelling to his forehead, but essentially he's got no serious injuries.
Although the assailant has not yet been identified, there are no reports of any further casualties.
It seems that it's not, this case is not as seriously as it was reported initially. Patient number one's in the back of the vehicle, being assessed, with Ali as well supporting. I've just been down to see patient number two. Unfortunately for him, he's got some minor head wounds, abrasions and a hematoma, a small swelling to his forehead. But I would think he's going to be absolutely fine. So we'll just go and re-liaise with Ali and see what's going on with that patient. And then hopefully we'll be able to clear from scene. So good news really, it's not as bad as first reported, so great.
With both patients handed over to the ambulance crews, the critical care team's work is over.
Pulse check, let's go for femoral.
7 miles down the road,
I can't feel it.
Nothing, no pulse. Okay, so carry on with some CPR.
critical care paramedics Faye Pollock and Tom Waters are attempting to resuscitate 84-year-old Ron, who was found face down in his garden pond.
So airway-wise, we're now secure. We've got good bilateral air entry, we've got some end tidal. We've got an end tidal of 5.
Although he doesn't yet have a pulse, a strong end tidal reading shows Ron's lungs are successfully absorbing air and oxygen is returning to his body.
You're doing some CPR and we'll get to rotate someone shortly.
We'll put the Lucas on in his
Yeah, so I think our next plan, if everyone's happy, is we'll attack the Lucas. Okay, so we'll just get you to stop CPR for a second.
The Lucas machine is a device which can mechanically apply chest compressions.
Move him across.
What's the matter, Faye?
That's better. Okay. That's better. That's better. Thank you.
Like manual CPR, it keeps blood flowing around the body until the heart can restart.
Marvellous. Okay. Let's try and get another cannula in as well, if you wouldn't mind, and then we can get into this. But we get some warm drugs in, if you can pop it in that one.
I've got a temperature probe. We're going to use our monitor to get an actual accurate reading of his temperature as well.
As Ron's body temperature is very low,
There's fluid through there, and you're happy to connect that up.
Faye begins administering fluids which are passed through a heater to try to warm him up.
So we've got 2 bags of fluid running through now, one through a warmer. So we're reversing everything we can.
So Faye, we've got a temperature of 30.7.
Tom and Faye are steadily reversing the effects of Ron being submerged in the pond.
So let's just do a quick pulse check. So I think I just saw something in his abdomen. It's feeling quite warm. I think I've got a femoral here.
I haven't got a carotid.
You know?
No.
It's really weak. Okay, so I've lost that now, so we'll start again.
Although Tom felt a weak femoral pulse in Ron's groin, that's now gone.
We've definitely got a pulse-producing rhythm, a good rate of about 100 PA.
But the team's monitors are picking up an electrical signal, a sign that the heart is still partly functioning.
So my thoughts are, we look to probably convey him.
We need another adrenaline.
Okay. And then we'll get a scoop. We'll go from there, I think.
Tom and Faye are hopeful that Ron can be resuscitated.
We'll get one of you to hold the fluids, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you help your colleague with a scoop?
But they've done all they can on site.
Amy, you're going to stay ventilating him, and then we'll look just to carry him straight across, if that's all right. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're still clipped in. Everyone happy?
They now want to get him to hospital as quickly as possible.
Okay, so we're going to go to the QE, and we're going to leave in the next minute if everyone's ready. 6-2, you ready for some details, over?
Yeah, mate, send it.
Tom updates the control room.
This gentleman, he's 84, he's an unwitnessed drowning into a fish pond. He's been in cardiac arrest throughout, which is now coming up to about 50 minutes. Has been in between a VF and a PEA rhythm, rate between 70 and 100. He's had a consistent end tidal of 3 to 5. He's currently got a core temperature of 30 degrees with a normal BM. Considering these factors, we're conveying to QE with an ETA of 8 minutes, 08 minutes.
Yes, within our thanks of our pass of the career head.
So he's just had his other adrenaline. We have got 1 bar left on the Lucas. Should we just put something under his head as well? Because his head looks very hyperflexed.
A short while later, the ambulance arrives at Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
So Dan, are you right to grab the monitor?
I'll grab the monitor, that's all right.
Here, a specialist cardiac team will continue efforts to resuscitate Ron.
Even though he was in cardiac arrest, there was indications that his heart was beating with the ECG, and the fact that we were warming and improving his current situation kind of suggested that we might have got a pulse back, and that's why we made that decision to take him to hospital. There were some optimistic signs at the time that he would be okay.
This is a nice breeze tonight.
Yeah, the last few nights have just been absolutely...
Scorchio.
Yeah.
It's Friday night, and critical care paramedic Kerry Hemus and Dr. Adam Lowe are starting their shift.
Have we got any spare tags, or shall I go get some?
There's one here.
Each day of the week we have a different set of kit to check. So we're doing the Friday checks. We just basically check that we've got everything and that everything is in date and where it should be.
Should we put that one in there as well?
Yeah. You're all set to go in?
Yeah.
Hello, ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
She is, yes.
Is she awake? Is she
No, she's not awake.
Was she injured?
She was knocked over by a car.
Right, she needs to stay where she is then.
I think she actually went underneath the vehicle.
Right, okay. Has she got any major injuries anywhere?
Nothing visual, no.
Okay, help's being arranged.
She's getting very confused now.
Just try and reassure her we are coming as quickly as we can on Blue Line.
If the woman's been run over, she may have sustained serious or life-threatening injuries. Kerry and Adam are dispatched to assist the local ambulance crew.
So going to a lady in her 50s who's been hit by a car. It's a bit unclear. Hopefully we'll find out a bit more in the next 5 minutes or so.
Go ahead.
All right, just call the caller back. Loose observation at the moment. The lady came out of the pub, she was hit by a reversing car, went under the car, unconscious for a period of time. She is now conscious but extremely confused.
Yep, thanks Dad, that's all received. I'll pull in front of the police car then so the ambulance can park it.
Hi, good evening.
Hiya.
I don't know what happened.
You got rather booked out.
Are you with this lady?
I'm her husband.
And you said that she lost consciousness for a bit.
Support worker Verona had been leaving the pub with her family when she hit the reversing car.
Did the car actually go over? No. So it's knocked her back with a bang. Yeah. Have you got any pain anywhere in particular?
Can I get to your head?
Yeah.
It's like...
Okay, good.
It's in your head.
Although the details are unclear, it seems Verona fell backwards, hitting her head, and was knocked unconscious.
I'm just going to have a little feel at the back of the head, just where you said it's hurting. I can't feel anything at all at the back there. No. Tiny bump maybe to the back of the head, but no break to the skin.
Externally, there is little sign of a wound, but concussion or internal injuries remain a possibility.
I'm just going to push on the bones in the neck. Okay, just tell me if it's sore. Any pain there where I'm pushing?
No.
Any pain there?
No.
Okay, can you wiggle your feet for me? That's it, well done. Okay, you can let go of her head. Yeah. That's fine, yeah. Well done. We're letting go of your head because I can't, there's no pain when I'm pushing on the bones, okay? Yeah. And if you had any injury at the back to the neck there, you wouldn't move it freely like you are doing, so that's good.
So far, Adam and Kerry haven't found anything significant, but Verona's behaviour is worrying.
I don't even know what happened. All I know was she was trained to me.
Okay.
She is struggling to regain her bearings.
You're doing absolutely fine. You're all right.
But I've had a drink.
I know.
Don't worry about that. It's Friday night.
And she is beginning to panic.
Look after you. Don't worry, look after you.
Are you a son?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to your son. Keep your breathing nice and slow for me.
In for your nose, every nose. In for your nose, every nose.
In Birmingham, the critical care team Stephen Mitchell and Peter Bowles are treating a 2-year-old who fell out of a first-floor window. Although not visibly harmed, Adam's distressed and needs to go to hospital so doctors can properly assess him.
And has he had any Calpol? No. Did he take Calpol okay? Calpol?
He takes it as a drink.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, do you think he'll have some off you now?
In the meantime, Calpol, a paracetamol syrup, should help to ease any pain Adam's suffering.
So we'll give him a little bit of Calpol just to cheer him up a bit, and so he's 2, so 7.5 is what we need. And we'll give that to Mum to give that to him. Okay. All right. So this is just normal Calpol. It's okay. It's only a bit of medicine, mate. Well, yeah, don't worry.
Adam is refusing the medicine.
everything all right? It's for you to get onto the ambulance. Have you got some shoes?
Can you just give me 5 minutes to quickly grab some stuff? Like
Look,
for him or...
I think it's probably better that we just sort of get him on and then get somebody else to follow up to the hospital, OK?
Getting him to hospital is now the priority.
OK, Adam. If you want to come straight onto the ambulance for me. Bye. Bye, bye-bye. OK then, Mum. So ideally he needs to go into this. What I'm going to suggest that you do is, like, you shuffle your bottom up the bed a little bit more, and then just rest him onto there. It's OK, mate. I don't think he's going to go in, personally.
But trying to get him in is making Adam even more upset.
Personally, I would sit the lady in that rear-facing chair with a seatbelt on and, like, as best as you can, and that's all you really can do. OK, you happy with that?
With Adam stable, Mitch hands him over to the ambulance crew, who will transport him to hospital.
Obs are all normal, we're trying GCS 15.
Yeah.
Very grumpy, 36.9. Okie-dokie. He doesn't seem in excruciating pain or anything like that, and he looks well, so I'm sure he'll be fine, but he needs a check-up, all right, because he's fallen.
At the nearest trauma unit, doctors will be able to check Adam to ensure there are no hidden injuries.
Generally, when you've got a child who's kicking and screaming, you know they're sort of fairly well as such. If he was grunting, that would be more of a concern. So it appears to have got away uninjured, but he's definitely fallen from the window. So we had to try and get him to the hospital as quickly as possible.
In Cannock, Dr. Adam Lowe and critical care paramedic Kerry Hemus are treating a woman who collided with a reversing car.
I don't even know what happened.
OK, that's all right.
Verona hit her head when she fell and is now disorientated and in pain.
Right then, the ambulance is here now, so we're going to get the bed out. We're going to get you on board the ambulance, and we're going to have a bit of a better look at you when we're in the warm, all right?
Listen to me, look at me. Keep chilled, okay? Into your nose. Over your mouth.
Verona was out enjoying a Friday night at the pub, but alcohol makes it more difficult for Adam and Kerry to complete a full assessment.
I'd like her to try and see if she can get up herself. We'll support, but I just want to see, because that'll help us know that her legs are OK and there's no injuries.
Can you get up? Can you get up? Don't force yourself. Don't force yourself. Can you get up or not?
No.
Despite her best efforts, Verona is unable to stand.
So I just want you to sit up, OK? Kerry and I are going to support you as you do that. So that's it, nice and gently. Well done.
Oh, me back.
Whereabouts?
There.
So do you think it's where you sort of fell back as the car?
Yeah.
All right.
OK.
Verona's pain could be an indication she's damaged her back in the collision.
So the next thing is to put a bit of weight on your feet. Good. Good.
That's brilliant.
OK. Good. OK. So stretcher is behind you, so I just want you to sit squarely for me to begin with. That's it. Well done.
It's like there.
Although on her feet, Verona is still unable to stand unaided, and her head injury needs further investigation.
Because of the query loss of consciousness, I think we take her to the nearest trauma unit for head injury observation. She's fallen over, hit the back of her head, may have lost consciousness, we're not sure. We assessed her, made sure there was no obvious spinal injuries, and then got her to stand up, because that is a good indication that there's no broken bones or anything.
Verona will be taken to the nearest hospital for observation. If her symptoms persist, she'll be given a scan to look for any internal injuries.
Sit there. Off to the next one.